Hello, everybody. Welcome to The Opening Act, a podcast interview show with me, your host, Brandon Hilder. Today's special guest is American Philosophy. Would you guys like to introduce yourself and say what instruments you play?
Of course. I am Shelby Bean. I am the vocals and the guitar.
I'm Kyler Stenquist, and I'm the drummer.
Sean Bryan. I play bass and backup vocals.
That's pretty awesome. I've never had a full band on the show yet, so I'm pretty excited about this.
It's a good thing we're a small band.
Yeah.
Three pieces.
3-piece isn't too bad.
Yeah.
I went and saw a concert this summer. It was Flogging Molly, and they were like an 8-piece. So, man, I couldn't even imagine doing that whole band.
That's just chaos. That's
I know.
crazy. That'd be a lot of fun, though.
Yeah, it's amazing how good. It's amazing how so many people can sound so good still. It's like, yeah, it's a lot of people. So let's go ahead and kick off into the questions. So tell me a little bit about American Philosophy. What kind of music do you guys play? And like, when did it first start?
Well, so there's kind of an interesting history behind it. So myself, the guitarist and singer, we started about like almost 10 years ago now, but we weren't American Philosophy then. We were a 2-piece band. I happened to be neighbors with Kyler, our drummer, and I think it was just kind of like started out as just a thing for fun. And then over time, once we started playing a few gigs, the shows got a little bit more exciting, just a smidge bit bigger. So we're like, well, maybe we should start taking this a little bit more seriously. Mm-hmm. And we were pretty far in, and at the time we weren't American Philosophy. We're a 2-piece punk band called the Baked Bean Society. It's kind of a hilarious name, but then we wanted to rebrand, and then so we decided that we were going to kind of start from scratch, but we kind of it was just myself and Kyler, and then we met up with Sean, and he's a fantastic bass player, and he's got the chemistry with us, and we decided it's time to rebrand, redo everything. And the band name it was interesting. I wanted to name the band a couple of different names, but one, you got to kind of do your research to make sure you're not taking anybody's name. And so it kind of was like a combination of 2 different band names. We went originally I wanted to call us Dead Philosophy, but that was taken. And then it was going to be American Mythology, but I was in a band temporarily that we called American Mythology, and I didn't feel like it was right to just take that name since it was a different project. So we kind of combined the 2, and it became American Philosophy.
Wow.
So it's funny because I wish I could say that there was all this deep meaning behind it and all that kind of
what
stuff.
was left.
Pretty much, man.
What can we fit in the URL as a thought? Yeah.
Wow. Well, I still think it's a pretty sick name, so.
Appreciate it, friend.
Yeah. See, when did you guys first discover your love for music?
I think that's a question for the drummer.
Definitely really young. I grew up on a lot of classic rock. My parents grew me up on that, so I always kind of had an ear for drumming. I never knew how to do it. And then for me, my music career started in 4th grade, where I had to take 2 years of piano lessons before I got into percussion in the middle school. That was kind of like your key to get into percussion class. So it started there, and then I played 3 years of drum percussion in the band class, and then I never played on a real kit. And then I got my first drum set senior year in '09, and I pretty much have taught myself how to play since then. So yeah, my love for music was definitely pretty young as a kid. I always knew that I wanted to do something with music and play music, and I always had an ear like really strongly for the drums, but I didn't know what to do. So I just pursued it, and it just came alive, I guess. And now
Wow.
I'm still doing it. Not gonna stop anytime soon.
Oh, that's fun.
I've had
So
lots
yeah,
of
very young. Elementary school for me.
yeah, I've had lots of friends that have played the drums, and all of them unfortunately kind of quit doing it halfway through, but yeah.
That's a bummer.
It's expensive and really time consuming. It's not convenient for other people to listen to sometimes.
I
The
think
learning
that's
curve is a little fun.
I think that's how most
Getting
instruments are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I would have actually started, I guess, on a full drum set when I was younger, because I feel like I would definitely be a lot better. Because I got my first actual drum set and played on my first drum set pretty much technically 13 years ago. So
Wow.
taught myself since then. So
Wow.
give myself a little bit of credit.
So this question's for all of you. You can all answer this separately if you like. What is your guys' favorite bands?
That is a really tough question.
I know, right?
I don't want to say because I don't want to be like one of those weirdos, but honestly, I love Tool. I really love how intricate everything is. I love the way everybody is so connected in that band, and they're just synced up together so well. You hear each instrument so independently, and they both play them all so well. And it's really groove based. And I don't know. This band we run about 200 miles an hour, but like we're starting to like find a groove pocket, which I think it's going to work out for us in the long run. But probably Tool or Seven Dust. I don't know. That's the other one. I love Seven Dust.
Yeah.
I'd say mine would be, I have a lot of top bands, but one of my favorites I'd say would be Rage Against the Machine for sure. They have a lot of, I don't know how to explain it, like punchy music. Like it's really kind of
In your face.
high energy, not too high energy, but it's just really groovy and punchy and, hits really hard, I guess. And
Still really aggressive.
yeah, and it's so, it's pretty, I don't know.
Yeah.
A lot of bands. I could keep going.
Yeah, that's incredibly hard to answer because like we all listen to so much, but this one's gonna kind of be different. I would have to say mine is Sublime before
There
they
you
got
go.
their new thing.
Yeah.
I really appreciate like they got a lot of punk roots, and I listen to a lot of punk and heavy metal, but I really liked how they combined it, reggae and punk and a little bit of hip hop, and then their own kind of feel to it. And I absolutely love some of the Bradley Knowles lyrics. That inspired me to want to write lyrics myself. I liked how some of his stuff was deep, but also sometimes it was really simple. And they concentrated on making a good song, not so much trying to get a particular message or be a certain kind of band or try to be anything in particular. They just wanted the music to sound good. And it's weird because all my roots come in for a lot more aggressive music, but to this day, man, you put on a Sublime song and you'll never see me change it, man. I'll never turn it off.
Yeah, Sublime's pretty great. They're one of those bands I could just have them play and same, I'd never turn it off. Yeah.
Amen, man. Amen.
What they did really well. That's for sure. And that kind of cuts into one of the next questions, which is what bands and songs inspire you while writing music? So what other bands and songs inspire you while writing music?
Honestly, I feel like part of us has sort of taken a back seat to more of a Chevelle kind of sound, a post-grunge new metal type vibe.
Mm-hmm.
With all of our influences kind of all over the map in this band, it was kind of inevitable. We just didn't know when we were going to find our own sound, and I think 2022 we really did. And we've been writing songs like crazy. And if we had to jump on tour with somebody, and I think our dream band would probably be Chevelle or something of that sort to take off with them.
Yeah.
Right.
That'd be a pretty cool tour to go do.
Yeah, Green Day would be fun too.
Green Day?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I love Green Day. Everybody loves them.
We try to mix a lot of like punk and metal together where we're not trying to be too aggressive, where some people, they might be like, I can't understand the lyrics and like such as that. But we also like to keep that aggression behind it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So kind of I think we have a healthy mix of heavy tones and fun thrashy stuff. Good melodies behind it for sure. We like keeping a melody in our music for sure.
And grungy grooves.
Yeah.
Yeah. So also last question about your favorite bands and stuff. What was your guys' favorite bands and songs as teenagers, and how has that changed from what it is now?
For me, not a lot. I kind of got stuck in a time warp. I still listen to a lot of the same stuff. I'm the old man of the band, I guess, but like Korn and Limp Bizkit was sort of the twist back then, and things were starting to come around, and that's a lot of what I listened to, mixed with some Incubus and things of that sort. But I think that was more of where my roots were.
Yeah, I'd agree too. I think a lot of there's a lot of good music that still comes out, but I think a lot of the mid 2000s and that later 90s rock and harder rock really stuck around and still is here. And I still listen, just like Sean was saying, I listen to that stuff every day.
That's probably
really my favorite out of anything.
That's probably how we've all kind of got along and kept playing the music we do, because we all listen to pretty much the same kind of stuff. And I think for the hardest thing for bands is finding people who can like vibe with that kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like people who have the same taste, the same idea, same vision. We all kind of listen to pretty much the same stuff.
Yeah. I really hope my taste in music doesn't change either, because I like what I listen to now. I don't want it to change. Yeah, I hope I can be like you guys and just keep my music taste. Yeah.
I think when you're as a teenager, everything that you listen to then kind of gets embedded in your DNA a little bit. You never forget that music.
Yeah.
That's when you learn all your first emotions, and first time you're really mad, or the first time you're really in love or broken.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's when you're a teenager, you're most vulnerable to that, and the music you listen to helps you get through it. So,
amen to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of truth in that. That's for sure. So what is your guys' favorite part about making and playing music?
Well, I think the best part about making and playing is just seeing what happens. You get us in the room, and sometimes there's nothing, and then other times it just kind of, you just throw it up, man. Like I said, we all have the same kind of taste in music, so we kind of have an idea of what we want to make or what direction we want to go through. But it really is, I mean, I'd say it's what you say, it's magic, man. Playing music is like something else, and it's a hard way to explain, but when you got like-minded people around you that play the instruments, you really can make something cool happen.
I don't know, making new songs is I like the challenge behind it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like just puts it's like kind of going back to school in a sense, You're like, am I capable of doing this? But, there's a lot of times that songs come really fast, or, it takes weeks and weeks to make it. But,
or months.
Sometimes you're rewriting things and you're taking a couple steps back.
Nope, that's not going to do.
As far as playing it, for me, it's definitely like my biggest passion, and it's like being, it's like, well, they say the drum throne, it's like being on a throne. That's like my, I guess, you call it my high, like on stage, playing music is awesome, and like making music and playing music, when you get to do that on stage, and then you've created all that from, with a couple of your friends in the basement, and then, you sell out a show or whatever, and, everybody freaks out after that song ends, and that's the joy that I get out of making and playing music is chasing that right after, you create something and somebody really enjoys it. So it's a really cool feeling.
Yeah. I bet that is a cool feeling to have people listen to that and like it. And I bet it makes you all warm and yeah.
Yeah, it definitely lights you up when the whole room, is screaming right after you just played a pretty cool song.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah.
something we wrote.
yeah. Good
That
feeling.
sounds awesome. I haven't experienced that feeling yet, but with the room screaming while after a song.
It's
But
the way.
hey, maybe someday. Yeah. So another thing I noticed about you guys is you guys have a lot of music videos. What's been your favorite video to make out of those?
There's so many reasons.
Yeah, our music video experience for us is brutal torture, but we love it. I mean, it's not uncommon for us to go 13, 15, 16 hours over a shoot, dusk till dawn sort of a thing. But I mean, honestly, Igniter was a blast. We lightened the load and we sort of figured out what we needed, and we had a great time. And we loved incorporating our friends and our local environment, and we got a really good response with it. And the feedback we get from people, it seems that they really like Igniter a lot. And
yeah, there's a lot of work that goes into those things, and you think that it's gonna go your way when the day comes to shoot a music video, but I'll tell you what, it never goes your way, man. It's a constant battle with time, and making sure you get the right shots, and just hoping that you get everything you want, and hoping that people that you're depending on, especially when you can't afford to have a giant budget for something, you're hoping that everybody that's a part of it is reliable and is there and on time.
And doesn't die.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
yeah.
really it. We sort of push ourselves to the extreme and somehow manage to do something really stupid every time. But we've survived somehow.
Yeah.
I'd say a favorite one for me too. I mean, I like them all for different reasons, but Bliss is really cool just because we like the main, I guess, character or actor in the music video is one of our best friends we grew up with. So it's really cool to see him play through the scenes and, like certain things like, we had a few scenes in a bar, and when we go and do that, you just have to show up to the bar, and pretty much we had to just take the whole thing over and be like, tell everybody like, hey, you're going to be in a music video, so if you want to be in it, so.
We got the stage fights and all sorts of things.
Yeah.
Like that.
Wow.
Yeah. We got to get on the bar, so that's really the cool thing about the videos is, you don't really know what to expect, but you really have to, like, all of us all have to have the steering wheel at all times, and we just have to we have to do it, and time's a big thing because the way we've been shooting, sometimes we only have our videographer for a day. So
yeah, and
we've got to get it done.
And we're literally watching the sun for each shot. I mean, we try to be as organized as possible, and we know we've got morning shots and afternoon shots and night ones, and we have it's pretty wild. Like, we stay on schedule, and I'm really proud of us for that. We don't fall apart, and we don't argue. We don't do. Surprisingly, we stay cool. Yeah. After it's over, we don't talk for about a week. But it's a lot. We have a good time, and it makes for good stories later.
Incredibly stressful, but really fun.
Yeah, the turnout, the end result's nice. It's nice to see that. I got to give one more shout out. Plastic Crown, just the scene where we're in a semi trailer, a full size semi trailer, and I really like that because when I grew up, I listened to Pantera, and they actually have a music video where Dimebag, he's shredding in the back of a diesel trailer. Yeah. And it's epic. So that was pretty cool to do. It was loud, very loud.
We couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
It was 120 degrees.
Yeah.
Getting fogged out by a smoke machine.
In the middle of the summer with the sun pounding down on the container.
Yeah.
That sounds terrible.
It was worth the shot, though.
Absolutely.
I bet.
Shot, man.
Yeah. I've seen some crazy behind the scenes on music videos. Like, there was this one band I was watching, and their music video, it's like -5 in Philadelphia, and they're showing like a bucket of water getting poured on this guy while it's -5. I'm like, dang, poor guy. I mean, the shot looks great, but
Oh man,
That's brutal. Yeah.
Yeah, it is brutal. But as long as the shot's worth it, right?
Right.
Yeah, that final end product though, it's all worth it once you get it. Like, especially if it looks good, and that's for that song, for that video. That's what people are gonna see. So, putting forth the time and effort, I'm sure it's worth it.
people would be amazed with how much goes into those things. Like you put hours into something that is only 3 minutes, 4 minutes long. It's pretty crazy sometimes, man.
Yeah, I bet. So let's talk about some of the shows that you guys played recently. So in November, you played a show with We Are William, Elephant Graveyard, Entice. How did that show go?
We had good time. I think it was our first time as American Philosophy playing that stage.
Yeah.
That great crowd. We Are William they were awesome. I was really gracious that they picked us up for that tour spot. We played a few shows with Elephant Graveyard, and those guys are always amazing. They just put on a killer show, and
Cool dudes too.
oh, absolutely. Jamal is terrifying on stage. I just love to watch him go crazy with it's so much fun, man. But I had a blast there. I'd love to go back.
That's what the second show we played with Entice now, right?
Yeah, we had Hot Fest, dude. Yeah. Well, and at least second or third with Elephant Graveyard. I don't know.
Yeah.
Then also in July, late July, you played a show with Saliva. How was that show?
Yeah.
That was a very fun time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We got a little taste of the high life from that, but we were kind of blown away that we got the phone call, and the venue called us and asked us if we wanted to do it, and submitted our website and our promo material to the band, and along with a couple other ones, and I guess their tour manager picked us out of the hat. They treated us like gold there. That's by far the favorite venue I've ever played.
They fed us. They gave us beer in a green room, and like the crowd was amazing that night too.
Felt like I made it at that point.
Like a lot of merch. We got pictures, autographs. It was
Wow.
It was good time, and we got to watch Saliva right after we got.
Oh yeah,
that was cool too. Yeah.
It's so cool to see a band that's been touring for 20, 30 years and how tight they can really be, and they put on a killer show.
I bet.
Yeah, it's cool to play. It's really cool to play with a band like like you were saying that we grew up with, and like there's a few songs that I really was in my playlist for years and years. So to be able to share the stage with a band like that you grew up on is pretty real.
Surreal, yeah.
Surreal.
You're really tested when you play with the big leagues for sure, because not only are you like trying to, be professional and try to match the professionalism that they're doing, but you also got to win the crowd, because a lot of these people don't know who you are. They're there for the other act. So when you go out there on stage, there's big shoes to fill sometimes, and like I think
just because they're there doesn't mean they're gonna like you. So we had to earn it.
Yeah,
that was difficult. I mean, I thought it was gonna be difficult, but we got a fantastic response between every song, and it was. I don't know. That was crazy. It just felt so good to be up there. That energy was unlike anything I'd ever felt.
Talk about a rush, man.
Yeah.
Sounds like a great time.
Yeah, we're hoping to go back this year.
I hope so.
Yes, sir.
Newberry up in Great Falls. That's what it is, the Newberry.
Mm-hmm.
And earlier you guys were telling me that you just booked some more shows for the future. Do you want to take a second and talk about those?
Oh, we got a couple of them. Our friends down in Bozeman, Scavenger, are going to come up and play a show with us in Helena at Jester's Bar. Jester's is like our hometown turf, so we try to play there once a year, and we generally draw a great crowd, and it's always an awesome time out there. That's just kind of our proving grounds. Is we've all, for the last 10 plus years, have all played with various bands on that stage. It's a real important place for us, and one of our good friends, Blind Mouth, is going to be opening for us. He's doing an acoustic rock set with that one. But we just released the February 4th show, Battle in the Pit, down in Butte. And we got another Shriner show coming up in March, first weekend of March. It'll be us with Axe and Ass, and the third band's yet to be released yet, so we'll see what comes with that. But there's more, but I guess we're not allowed to talk about them yet. So we'll get that information out as soon as we're allowed to.
There you go. Yeah, I don't
But
want
we
to
are
get you
very
guys in
excited
trouble.
to talk. Yeah, and I don't want to get in trouble either. I really like playing these places. So
Or lose one. Yeah.
The Butte show should be great. I think some of the bands that you've interviewed here are going to be there. Acts of Volition, the band Repent, a couple of them there. It's going to be a great time.
Sounds like a great time. Another question about just playing live shows and stuff. Do you guys have any favorite, school appropriate obviously, but do you have any favorite school appropriate concert stories?
Probably the most school appropriate story is probably going to be when we played Saliva, and the reason why it's probably the story is more funny, if anything, because we were sitting there, we weren't stressing about the show. The whole time, months go by, we knew about the show for months, and we weren't stressed at all. We're thinking, oh, we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a good time. We've got this. We've done this so many times. It's not a big deal. So we're thinking in our heads, we got this. We got this, and you can say whatever you want. You can do something over and over and over, but until you're met with like 1,000 people in your face, you don't really start to feel the pressure. And I think sitting back in the backstage, I think we all were doing jumping jacks. We were pacing ourselves, just trying to loosen up the nerves and everything. I think I had
We were a wreck.
Yeah, I was trying to drink a couple of beers to loosen myself up without getting, hammered or anything. And you should have seen us. I mean, we've done this so many times, and we look like we've never done this before. Our hands are shaking, sweating.
A big moment.
Yeah.
Until the first note hit, and then it's like everything just made sense, and it was cool after that.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
We've had weird stuff. Even coming back from Missoula, we about got smashed by semi-truck, construction zone.
Oh, yeah, that was my fault.
A little bit. But, yeah, we've had some really silly stuff happen, and mostly equipment failures, dumb stuff. But
That sounds
our drummer's
terrible.
little part is pedals on stage before, and, yeah, we do what we can.
Yeah.
So we played the Civic Center in Helena, and our drummer went through all of his sticks, and he started playing the kit with his bare hands.
Yeah.
We came off stage, and everyone's like, "Were you playing with your hands?" And I did what he had to do.
I
And
didn't have any sticks.
That sounds painful. Wow.
Yeah.
it was amazing, though. We got so much love that night.
Yeah, it's funny. Playing with your hands.
Hey, whatever you
man.
got to do to stay in time, right?
Oh, yeah.
Can't let it get hold of you. Like, they just got to keep going. Yeah. In one of the recent interviews I did, that was something we talked about for 5 minutes, how when little things go wrong, you just got to keep going through, because if you let it affect you, it's going to look like it affects you. But yeah, so yeah, I get what you mean. Saying you
Improvise and
just,
overcome.
yeah, do what you got to do.
I hope you don't
so.
look like an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you just hope you're the last band on the night and everybody's drunk, man. No, so they don't notice. No, I'm kidding.
We played a New Year's show, and we thought it would be a great idea to start off our set with this giant, 30-second scream. And me and Shelby both scream, and I hadn't eaten at all that day. I had 2 monsters right before I went on stage. I was wired, and I started screaming, and my tunnel vision came in, and I fell backwards and landed on the wall, and the whole front row that on the stage is watching like they just seen a ghost. But I somehow didn't fall and came back into it. But I've seen Shelby fall on stage or flip around, and
I've lost my footing a couple times.
We just get into it sometimes.
Hey, yeah. Get into that groove and just go for it. Yeah. What is your guys' favorite American Philosophy song? For me, it's probably Manifest. I like that song. It's really...
No kidding.
Yeah, it's great.
No way.
That's awesome.
What's
That's cool, man.
Yeah. It's good. The first 30 seconds of it are super, super awesome. And the rest of the song just complements it the whole time. Yeah. What's your guys' favorite American Philosophy song?
Well, with that one, we sort of took like a California surf rock vibe to it. And it was
Yeah.
a total curveball for us. We didn't know for sure if it was going to work out. And we were going to shoot a video, and then for some reason we sort of lost motivation with that song a little.
Yeah, fun story. That song was written when we were just all drinking coffee and hanging out.
Yeah, really exciting. Really exciting.
Yeah.
As far as what's recorded,
yeah.
Because we've written a lot of new stuff, definitely in this last year that are very, very good picks.
Yeah.
I would say I really like New Life on Sixth Board.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a fun upbeat song.
Yeah, that one. Igniter's a really good song. And then if you want to go back one album, I'd probably have to say the winner on that album is Channel Zero.
Yeah, that one never gets old.
Yeah, I love playing Igniter. I love when the song comes on. I like the video. I like the song.
Yeah.
I also, that song was for me lyrically was something about like I'm really tired of how seeing the bad things in society, and wouldn't it'd be great if we just like burned everything down and started over, you know? So like, there's a little bit of attachment for me on that song. I was really glad that the guys were down to make a music video out of it, and I was really happy that we got a good response out of that one. So as far as the songs that are recorded, Igniter is definitely one that I take a lot of pride in.
I think I came into this band during the recording process of Prescription, and something about Plastic Crown really sunk in. Plastic Crown was an authentic pop rock song. I mean, it was ready for the radio. It was just clean enough. It had everything that it needed, the right time signature, the right groove. And I think we did as good a job as we could have delivered with that song at the time. But that it offered everything. It had a really cool video that was really simple, and that it got us a lot of momentum. And I'm honestly surprised that Plastic Crown hasn't done better than it has. But I think it's around 10,000 views or something like that, which is for Helena, Montana local band. I think we're pretty proud of that.
Yeah,
we'll take it.
Yeah,
10,000 views. That sounds like a dream.
Igniter's got that, I think.
Yeah, we've got a couple of them floating around that 10K mark.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're definitely shooting for some more. We're in the process of recording and producing some new material. We're really excited. We plan on releasing the songs this year, so we kind of doing a nice little makeover for 2023 and give something a little bit different, but still keep that American Philosophy vibe that we've already shown. We're pretty excited to do some new stuff.
You should hopefully see a single from us about one a quarter this year. Every 3 months or so, we're hoping to drop. We're sort of taking a different approach this year and stepping away from making full albums.
Gotcha.
Because our songs are varying so much and what they sound, and we're trying to hone it in. So we're going to take the year to just pop out a few singles and see how they feel and see what people like, and we're really curious to see what the response is to our new sound.
Yeah, well, I wish you guys luck with that new sound that you're talking about. Hopefully it goes good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
And so now we've gotten over all the good, serious questions, and so if you guys are ready, you ready to get into kind of the goofy stuff?
Cool. You got the right band.
Okay. So, what is your guys' favorite movies?
I love movies. Again, so for me personally, I look at movies the way I look at music. There's just too many out there for me to only pick one. But if I had to pick one of my favorite movies,
better not take mine. You better not take mine.
I would have to say this is gonna sound really childish, but one of my all-time favorite movies, man, is Jurassic Park, the first one.
It's a great movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
I saw that when I was like a little tiny kid, and of course, when you're a 5-year-old boy, you're obsessed with dinosaurs and stuff, and it was. We all know that looking back, it's like one of those groundbreaking movies and everything like that, and it's simple too. It's not like necessarily got a super deep message, and it's not very complex. It's just a basic survival movie, and I love those kind of movies. Like, entertain me, man. Like, I love movies that have messages, and I love all that stuff too. But in the long run, I just want to be entertained, man. And I love Jurassic Park.
Yeah, it's a good movie for that, for keeping you glued to the seat the whole time and paying attention, and it's a great movie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'd say mine would probably. I'd have to say The Lord of the Rings.
Oh, you.
Oh yeah.
I love the delay in it too. You're all like, "Don't take mine. Don't take mine." I'm gonna think about this for a moment.
No, it's just, I don't know. I feel like besides maybe like Avatar, Star Wars series, that's like one of the greatest.
That whole trilogy is just amazing, dude.
Yeah, one of the greatest films ever created.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sort of a Fast and the Furious nerd. I know how awful they are to watch, but I still watch them. I can't help it. I love the on-screen chemistry that the cast has, and I sort of was living that sort of life with the import tuner stuff in the early 2000s. And hell, I just gave it up a few years ago, I guess, but it was a big part of my life. And I knew how corny the movies were, but it was still entertaining to watch.
Well, you're a car enthusiast too, so I mean, like, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I love the Fast and Furious movies. I've seen all of them and haven't regretted it. They're pretty good.
Yeah.
They're very entertaining, yeah. So, do you guys have any favorite quotes or anything like that?
I'd say Joseph Campbell has a pretty good quote. He's a famous American writer, and he says, "Follow your bliss." It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
That one speaks to me because it's basically just telling, do what feels right for yourself,
It's good
I don't know. I'm a little lighthearted with things. I tend to quote stand-up comedians all the time. And Brian Regan, that dude is amazing. And I don't know, we used to road trip. I was in the military forever ago, and we would travel all over the United States, and we'd listen to his stand-up. And that was 15 years ago. And to this day, me and my wife still just quote a bunch of stupid ones. And the big yellow one is the sun is probably my favorite. My favorite quote. The big yellow one is the sun. That's a stupid solar system joke, but yeah. Stand-up comedy really helps take the edge off me a little bit. It helps cut the stress off.
Yeah, stand-up comedy is good.
I don't know about I'd have to think on that one for a while.
It's okay.
I've made up a lot of good ones, I guess. Made-up quotes.
Made-up quotes, wow.
No.
Aren't they all, though?
Yeah, made up by somebody,
Must be nice. My favorite one.
Must be nice, yep. Must be nice. That's the perfect way to just crap on somebody's day.
Yeah.
Must be nice.
Oh, geez, you got me dying in here, huh?
That's fine. And I made it up. No.
Yeah.
Way to sound narcissistic.
Hey.
Oh, boy.
Just the way that you look at it. You guys are looking at it negative.
Okay, and then the last kind of goofy question for you. So this is going to be kind of my signature question that I ask every interview, always the second to last question. So this question is from my favorite TV show, Chuck. And I want you all to answer this either as in detail or as in not detail as you want. So if you were deserted on an island, like just on a stranded island, and you could have one kind of sandwich with you, and you can eat it every day, what kind of sandwich would it be?
Italian grinder. No, don't even need to think about it. Italian. It doesn't even, any kind of Italian sandwich. I'm on it.
I honestly think I'm the same there.
Yeah, you can't beat a grinder, man. I've got my favorite one too, but it's a little local shop. But yeah.
Man, I want peanut butter and jelly. I'm lame.
That's the only one he knows.
It's classic. It's good.
You get sweet and salty at the same time. You can't lose.
Yeah.
Dude, I would go for a club sandwich with like the bacon and the turkey and the lettuce and the mayo and the mustard and like toasted bread.
Just stay loaded.
Yeah, just load that up, man.
It's like a Fat Big Mac commercial.
Shelby just like Nutella sandwiches.
Whatever, man.
Yeah.
Nobody likes tuna here.
Ooh.
Tuna's.
I'd go for like classic buffalo chicken sandwich.
Well, there you go. Oh,
Great. Thanks, Brandon. You made him hungry.
Yeah.
I know. That sounds good. Ooh.
It's almost, isn't it dinner time? It's close. I mean,
4:30, almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the real question is other than Italian, what's your favorite sandwich?
Oh man. We got to go with like a sub on my mom's homemade French bread. And honestly, I really, really like Italian. So we're going with like the pepperoni, the salami, things like that. And this is toasted, obviously. And like a pepper jack. Oh, and whatever vegetables you want to throw on it. You can't forget the jalapenos. So that's what we got.
Oregano, Parmesan,
salt, pepper.
Bro, I might have to stop at Subway after that.
Conforte, man. They got the best Italian.
Oh, man.
Yeah, what happened to Quiznos? What the hell?
They suck.
No. Quiznos is bomb.
What advice do you guys have for any of the students that are going to be listening to this podcast? Because, once again, this is kind of a student-oriented podcast that I'm doing. A lot of kids, hopefully, at my school will give this a listen. So for those high schoolers that are listening, what do you have to say to them?
Be yourself. It doesn't matter after school's over, man. Just be yourself. The whole world's going to change as soon as you walk off that field. Just always be true to yourself and be real to your friends. Absolutely.
Ah, for sure.
I would say definitely follow what you want to do the most, whatever I guess you're seeking the most, follow that, because I feel I'm a strong believer with anything, if you just keep persistent at it, it's gonna, you do everything you can to do what you can to do it, it's gonna work out, I mean, like, we've made goals 10 years ago, and I can say that we've probably done almost every single one of them.
Wow.
So setting goals would be a big thing too. That definitely keeps you on track, I feel like.
Yeah. I think goals.
I think on top of all three the other two things that the guy said, I say don't stress, man. There's a lot of ups and downs in this world, man, and why would you stress about tomorrow when today already had enough problems? So, take everything day by day and just, know who you are and roll with that. Very, very wise with all those. Thank you guys for sharing that.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having us on this podcast. We appreciate it.
It's been a blast talking to you guys.
Cool, thanks, man.
Yeah, it's been a good time.
Maybe we can do another one in the future, later on down the road.
Let's do an update next year.
Yeah.
There you go.
What have we accomplished?
Yeah, thank you guys for joining me and talking with me and all of this wonderful nonsense. Thank you guys for coming. Well, I guess you didn't
You're
really
very
come,
welcome.
but
Yeah. Well, I mean,
we're here over to the studio.
Yeah. We're here in spirit, man. We're here in spirit.
Thank you for calling. There you go. Yeah.
And we wish you the best of luck too, my friend. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I guess we'll get talking to you later.
All right, man.
Yeah, you too, man. Hey, have a good Christmas, too.
Thank you. You too. Yeah.
And stay warm out there. Yeah.
Oh gosh, I didn't know. We don't even have school tomorrow now because of the winter, of the winter
That's
weather.
bad.
Jeez, yeah.
Yeah, that it's bad. You know it's cold if that's the case, man.
I know. All my years in school never happened but once when I was like really young, and I even lived in Idaho then. So it's got to be cold when they're shutting down the schools in Montana.
Right.
Oh yeah.
I went to high school. Yeah, I went to high school here, and all they did was stop the bus route. You still had to make it to school.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised that that's not what we did.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys once again, and yeah, stay warm. Don't freeze to death. And yeah, have a good holidays, and I guess we'll talk to you later.
All right, man. Thank you.
Yeah, take care.
Yep, take care. Okay. Thank you. Bye.
See ya.
Thank you so much for listening, guys. Before we go, I'd like to say thank you to Powell County High School, which is the high school I attend, for letting me use the podcast equipment. I'd also like to thank Mr. McConaughey and Miss Beery and all of the other great teachers here for supporting and helping me with the podcast. I'd also like to give a huge thanks to American Philosophy for letting me interview them today, and to Hannibal Hayes of Bitter Roots Recordings and Ridgeline Recording Studios. He has helped me find most of the great artists that I am interviewing. This truly would not be possible without any of you. So thanks for listening, and make sure to subscribe, because why not? And have a good one. Thank you.